Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, I thought today that I would be creepy. That little stiletto you carrying is not a knife. This is a knife. You gotta have you gotta love my sense of humor. The knife you just saw, this one here, is a Bowie knife. It is legal to own, but it is not legal for me to carry in the state of West Virginia unless I have a sporting purpose for this knife. The only logical sporting purpose for a knife this friggin' big is for me to defend myself from a bobcat or a mountain lion or a bear. This is not a self-defense tool. This is meant for eviscerating large animals, and it will eviscerate a human being just as easily. Maybe an alligator if you live further down south, like Alabama or Florida or something. A cousin to this knife, inspired by this knife, is, of course, the Marine Corps K-bar. Now, I don't know where my K-bar is. I have one around here, but I also have an M9 bayonet. This is the Army solution to the K-bar, same basic blade. Got a nice little blood groove right here. And, oh, yeah, see this little hole? This hole, you have a little lug that you fit through on the scabbard that allows you to cut through fences, concertina wire, stuff like that. Works just like bolt cutters. And, of course, being a bayonet, has that little lug right here on the end for fixing it to a rifle. Alright, well, oh, by the way, this is legal to own. It's part of my collection. However, she ain't legal to carry. And there is no sporting purpose for a bayonet, especially one that can be affixed to my rifle. Not even to defend myself against a bear or anything like that. The reason I'm bringing this up in the legalities of these instruments is because, well, this video is about self-defense instructors and how they should not be giving you legal advice. Yeah, I know. Your self-defense instructor told you you could legally do this. Well, do me a favor. Ask him to present you with the papers that says that he has passed the bar. You see, I can talk to you about legal theory. I can tell you my beliefs and what I think is legal and what is not. However, if I give you legal advice, my legal advice cannot be treated as credible. I can tell you that a code that I read in a book says this. I cannot tell you what that code means or define the limitations of that code through legal process. That is a job of a lawyer and a judge. Here's quite simply the honest-to-God truth. Self-defense is a claim made in court. It is not viable at the time of your arrest. You can still get arrested when you're claiming self-defense. And, well, here's the thing about it. If I sit there and I tell you this is legal, this isn't, this is legal, this isn't, I basically kinda, sorta, somewhat screw myself. See, in West Virginia, the only knife that is legal for you to carry must have a 4-inch blade at max. Anything over this must have a sporting purpose. Since hunting and fishing are common sports here, I can slice open, a small fuzzy animal. I can skin a deer. I can gut a fish. I can have a big knife on me for the purpose of doing those things, but it cannot be used with the intent of self-defense. If I go into court and say, this guy attacked me, and the only thing I had to defend myself was this knife, and I defended myself with this knife, well, maybe I will not get charged with murder, attempted murder, malicious wounding, depending on the outcome of that confrontation. However, I can still be charged in court for having an illegal weapon, which would be this knife. Or maybe should we say this knife? Or, wait, here we go. How about these? Now, I'm not sure if throwing knives qualifies, or having throwing knives would qualify as a sporting purpose. I'm not sure there's a sport of knife throwing, but they have an under 4-inch blade, even though they're fixed blade, and it basically does me not a whole lot of good to use them to try to slice somebody. If anyone wonders, these are the throwing knives, or actually one of these was the throwing knife that I caught when it bounced off target and came at my face and gave me that nice little crooked finger where they had to reattach my tendons when I caught it. Thought I was Bruce Lee for about a second until blood comes spurting out my finger. The problem with people trying to give you legal advice is if they're not qualified to do it, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Self-defense instructors might be qualified to teach you how to fight. They might be qualified to teach you how to physically defend yourself. They might be experts, geniuses, the messiah of self-defense and martial arts. But that doesn't mean they know what they're talking about when it comes to legalities. Problem with the self-defense world is a lot of people have to go outside the bounds of simple technique. Anyone who just talks to you about technique obviously doesn't know much. And, well, it's kind of like gear whores for us survivalists. You might have all the cool gear, but do you have the basic skills to use the cool gear? Hell, do you have the basic skills to get by without the cool gear? And guess what? Skills don't require batteries. See, when you get into the legalities of it, if someone gives you advice, acting as legal counsel, tells you, yes, you can do this. Better yet, let's give you a straw man argument to make my point. I'm your self-defense instructor. I teach you self-defense techniques. I train you to use this. When you ask me, can I use this to defend myself? And I say, yes, this is a effective self-defense weapon, which it is. And I tell you, when you use this, you will be increasing the level of aggression to lethal force, which is true. All this is true under the law and under practical reasons. And then you say, but is it practical to carry one of these? And I say, sure, because it's an effective tool. And so you carry this. A mugger pulls a knife on you, maybe one of those little gay-ass little thin blade stilettos, and you pull this. And an ensuing fight occurs, and you kill him. I know this is all dramatic and unrealistic. And you're in court, and they say, well, sir, why did you have a bowie on you? And your response is, I had it for self-defense. My self-defense instructor told me it was a viable weapon. I get on the stand, and they say, well, sir, did you tell him this was a viable self-defense weapon? I'm going to get up there and say, yeah. And they're going to say, sir, did you give him the legal advice that he could use this? And I said, I did not say it was a legal self-defense weapon, only that it was an effective self-defense weapon. That was my intention. He misconstrued the facts of what I was saying. I just saved my own ass and sent you to jail for carrying a unlawful, that is an illegal weapon. See, hell, let's say there's an LA riot scenario. It's like the LA riots. People are just going off without rule of law, chaos. You have to defend yourself, so you use this. You have to go to court afterwards because after everything occurs, the police start looking at all the troublemakers, who did what, who harmed people. You happen to be a guy who eviscerated someone with this. This is made to eviscerate a bear. Guess what happens? You're in court. You say, I had that knife for self-defense. Even though the social structure of the world around you broke down, once it has returned to normal, the laws still apply. Any laws you break still apply. Even though I even say that under certain situations, you have to accept that you might have to break the law to save your life. It doesn't mean that you won't be guilty of a crime for doing so. And when you get up in court and say, yeah, I used this, and this is an illegal weapon, you're going to jail for that illegal weapon. See, as a self-defense instructor, it's my job to teach you to save your life. It's not my job to give you legal advice.